It all started with a text message that wasn't meant for me. One late Tuesday night, my wife Sarah was asleep and her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I glanced over, thinking it was just a late-night work email, but the preview on the screen made my heart stop. It was from a contact named James, and the message read, "Can't stop thinking about last night, you're incredible." My world shattered in that single moment. James? I knew a James, a guy from her office. The pieces started clicking into place with a sickening thud. The late nights at the office, the sudden work trips. It wasn't just a suspicion anymore, it was a cold, hard fact staring me in the face from her phone screen. For days I was a ghost in my own home. I went through the motions, work, dinner, pretending everything was normal, but inside a storm of anger and betrayal was raging. I wanted to confront her, to scream, to demand answers. But what good would that do? It would just be a messy, painful fight, and then what? I felt powerless. I started digging quietly. It didn't take long to find out who James was. James Peterson. A quick social media search revealed everything. He was married too. His wife's name was Emily. Looking at her profile, I saw a woman with a kind smile, posing with her 2 kids and James, the happy family. My heart ached for her. She had no idea her world was about to be turned upside down, just like mine. That's when a crazy idea started to form in my mind. What if I wasn't the only one who deserved to know the truth? What if the best way to handle this wasn't to destroy my own life, but to expose the lie they were both living? It felt like a plot from a movie, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. This wasn't just about revenge, it was about justice. It was about taking back control. My first step was to find a way to contact Emily. I couldn't just message her out of the blue. It had to be subtle. I found out through his public profile that James was a member of a local charity organization that hosted an annual fundraising gala. I checked the event page. Tickets were still available. I bought 2. Getting Emily's number was the next challenge. I had to get creative. I called James's office, pretending to be from a courier service with a perishable delivery for him that needed immediate confirmation from his spouse for home delivery. It was a long shot, but the receptionist, probably flustered, gave me Emily's number without a second thought. My heart was pounding as I dialed. When she answered, her voice was warm and friendly. I took a deep breath and said, "Hi, Emily, my name is Mark. I know this is going to sound strange, but I believe our spouses are having an affair with each other." There was a long, deafening silence on the other end of the line. I thought she'd hung up. Then I heard a shaky breath. "Who is this?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. I told her. And then the floodgates opened. She told me about her own suspicions, the unexplained late nights, the emotional distance. Our stories were almost identical. We weren't strangers anymore. We were allies, united by the same betrayal. We met for coffee the next day. Seeing her in person, you could see the pain in her eyes, the same pain I felt in my own chest. We talked for hours, sharing details, piecing together the timeline of our spouse's deceit. It was heartbreaking, but also strangely empowering. I wasn't alone in this nightmare. I told her about my plan, the charity gala. I said, "The company that's sponsoring the gala is one I've been trying to partner with for my business. I have 2 tickets. I want you to be my date." She looked at me, stunned. "You want us to go to a party together?" I nodded. "Think about it. Sarah and James will both be there. They'll walk in, expecting a fun night out, and they'll see us, together. Not angry, not fighting, but enjoying ourselves. We take away their power by showing them we're not broken." A slow smile spread across Emily's face. For the first time, I saw a spark of defiance in her eyes. "Okay," she said. "Let's do it. The week leading up to the gala was a blur of secret preparations. Emily and I became a team. We texted constantly, not with the desperation of our cheating spouses, but with the excitement of co-conspirators. We planned our outfits. I went out and bought a new tailored suit, one that made me feel more confident than I had in years. Emily sent me a picture of the dress she'd chosen, a stunning, elegant emerald green gown. She looked incredible. We weren't just planning revenge, we were rebuilding our self-esteem piece by piece. The day of the gala, I told Sarah I was attending for a crucial networking opportunity. She barely looked up from her phone, just mumbled, "Okay, have fun." The casualness of her dismissal was just more fuel for the fire. I picked Emily up that night. When she opened the door, she took my breath away. She looked radiant, confident, and completely in control. "You ready for this?" I asked, offering my arm. She smiled, a genuine, dazzling smile. "More than ready," she said, and took my arm. Walking into that ballroom felt like stepping onto a movie set. The room was buzzing with people, music was playing, champagne was flowing. We scanned the crowd, and then we saw them. Sarah and James were standing with a group of their colleagues, laughing and drinking, completely oblivious. Sarah was wearing a dress I had never seen before. My heart clenched for a second, but then I looked at Emily, and her calm strength steadied me. It was showtime. We didn't charge in, we were smarter than that. We simply started mingling. We got drinks, we talked to people, we laughed. I introduced Emily as my business associate. We were a power couple, exuding confidence. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the moment Sarah first noticed me. Her smile froze. She did a double take, her eyes widening as she saw Emily standing by my side, looking absolutely gorgeous. I saw her nudge James, whose jaw literally dropped. Their faces went from cheerful to horrified in a matter of seconds. The game was on. They couldn't make a scene without exposing themselves to their entire professional circle. They were trapped. The best part was Emily and I were actually having a good time. We talked about our kids, our careers, our dreams, all the things we couldn't talk about with our partners anymore. We discovered we had a shared love for hiking and old movies. It felt normal. It felt nice. For the first time in months, I wasn't just the cheated-on husband, I was Mark again. Throughout the night, we could feel Sarah's and James's eyes on us. They kept shooting us panicked, angry looks from across the room. They tried to approach us separately, but we were a united front. When James cornered me near the bar, I just smiled politely and said, "James, good to see you. Have you met my associate, Emily?" The look on his face was priceless. He just stammered and walked away. The grand finale came during the charity auction. The auctioneer announced a grand prize, a romantic weekend getaway for two at a luxury coastal resort. As the bidding started, I caught Emily's eye. We shared a look, a silent agreement. I raised my paddle. Sarah and James watched in disbelief as I kept bidding, driving the price higher and higher. Finally, the auctioneer slammed the gavel down. "Sold to the gentleman in the blue suit." The room applauded. I stood up, walked to the stage to claim my prize, and the host handed me the microphone to say a few words. I looked out at the crowd, my eyes landing directly on Sarah and James. "Thank you all," I began, my voice clear and steady. "I'm so thrilled to support such a wonderful cause, and I can't wait to enjoy this beautiful weekend getaway with my incredible date tonight, Emily." A spotlight hit us, and the room erupted in applause. The looks of utter humiliation on Sarah's and James's faces were burned into my memory. That was our victory. It wasn't loud or destructive. It was quiet, classy, and absolutely devastating. We didn't just get revenge, we reclaimed our dignity. And as Emily and I left that party, arm in arm, I realized this wasn't just an ending, it was a brand new beginning. Thank you so much for watching. This was a really difficult chapter of my life, but sharing it has been part of my healing process. If you've ever been through something similar, know that you're not alone and you have the strength to come out the other side stronger. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss what happens next. See you in the next video.